All right, we're here. Let's dig out this asteroid, set up the base, get some power. Wait. Before we get too carried away, what exactly does Go Green mean for this run? It means banning all non-renewable power sources. No coal, no petroleum, no natural gas. In this game, our power grid will run only on hydrogen generators, dupe-powered hamster wheels, solar panels, and potentially steam turbines. That's it. Oil and other so-called dirty products are still allowed, but only for crafting essential items like plastic, never for burning. On this asteroid, aluminum is the most abundant, refined metal, and since the place is otherwise metal poor, it becomes the backbone of our construction plans. The first 10 cycles are all about getting the basics down. We started with basic beds, outhouses, and a research table to kickstart our tech tree. Then came our first source of green power, the humble running wheel. Not flashy, but it marked the official start of our clean energy grid. With power trickling in, I set up a pitcher pump for our water needs, and began researching into advanced researching.
So let's go towards advanced research for now. And then we are just digging up here to get that little bit of water down.
Then around this time, we welcomed a new dupe, Vuvik,
You are going to be our planter operator.
and started building a new bedroom to keep the morale up. Next came research into electrolyzers, unlocking the possibility of self-sufficient oxygen production. Skills were assigned, and soon after, Nixon joined the team. Research continues into ventilation. We placed our first electrolyzer while planning out a full SPOM design, but the tech push didn't stop there. We also unlocked automation, heavy watt wires, and transformers to future-proof our grid. Clean water access improved with our first wash basins, and oxygen got a boost from the sublimation stations and deodorizers. Another dude, JCG1, joined the crew, prompting a complete overhaul of everyone's schedules to keep productivity flowing. By cycle 10, the colony was stable, powered entirely by renewable energy, and steadily growing. But this was just the warm-up. The real challenge is keeping it green as demands rise, resources dwindle, and space exploration comes ever closer. With that in mind, research is in full swing. First big move, placing the rock crusher to turn igneous rock into sand. Finally, sand from rocks. Not magic, just science. Honestly, I'm starting to feel like a rock wizard. Next up, we are adding ventilation to the base, getting ready for when the SPOM is fully operational, because nobody wants their dupes fainting mid-shift. Not that we don't enjoy a little drama. Look who just joined the crew. Welcome to the colony, Grain Reel. Extra set of hands, fewer complaints, hopefully.
Alright, so Grain Reel, you are going to start being our digger, so we will just start that. I probably could have just jumped straight to 3.
Our second barracks is taking shape, giving our growing team a proper place to sleep. Just then, we get a wild card, Nurse Gone Mad.
Nurse Gone Mad, you are going to be our dedicated chef.
Yes, that's her name, but hey, she's great at keeping everyone alive. Oh no, our oxygen levels are dropping fast. Not even polluted water is saving us. Quick! Install another electrolyzer. It's a temporary fix, but it's better than watching everyone pass out in dramatic slow motion. Now, algae is officially our new best friend.
Maybe I need to sneak in here and try to snatch some algae.
And to give our poor dupes some relief, we added an oxygen diffuser, because apparently they like breathing air. Who knew? Breaking into the slimy swamp biome opened up a whole new mess of opportunities and germs. The highlight? Our very first hydrogen generators came online, kicking our power game up a notch. Meanwhile, nature reserves pop up across the base, boosting morale in ways only greenery can. We also built our first ever greenhouse. Though without a sun to shine in, it felt more like a green room. Research into water sieves was underway, raising hopes that our dupes might finally have real toilets soon. And then the moment of engineering glory, our SPOM was finally done. Right in the middle of it all, a new dupe joined the crew. Say hello to Honeybee,
Who, for those of you that don't know, is the creator of the newest frog iteration. Welcome to the colony, Honeybee.
We also unlocked shiny new blueprints, began prepping for proper toilets and sinks, and started research on a real metal refinery.
Like getting into metal refinery maybe would probably be very good.
Power upgrades were next on the list, with our first heavy watt wire, one thick boy of cable getting planned out. Of course, the SPOM setup required a little bit of manual dupe labor, and in a rush, we somehow forgot the Atmos sensor. But then it happened. We have oxygen. Another dupe, Silver Fox 342, arrived just in time to enjoy the fresh air. Fire poles start going up, speeding up dupes' movements and making daily routines way more fun. While food research expanded our menu options, work began on a real power spine. And while scouting, we stumbled upon a copper volcano, hot enough to make us back away slowly. And finally, the metal refinery was placed, ready to supercharge our resource production. Alright team, the mission continues. First up, we're digging out more aluminum so our colony can stop living paycheck to paycheck on metal. Next on the list, researching some animal control, because apparently wrangling space critters is a full-time job, and they are winning. Then, big news, we all have new bathrooms! Yeah! Finally, the colony smells less like the old bathrooms. Also, random thought, can we grow some dust caps? Turns out, yes. But first, we have to dig up a ton of slime for them. Nothing says delicious mushrooms like a pile of intergalactic goo. While that's going, we're building a real kitchen. Smoker and all. Michelin stars, I'm waiting for you. Meanwhile, so much digging and mopping. That's about 90% of our jobs at this point. Oh, and researching some Atmos suits finally, so we can leave the breathable air bubble without holding our breath like toddlers in a pool. We are also reworking our liquid and power lines, because apparently I designed them while I was half asleep and wanted spaghetti. But hey, our new mess hall is complete. Now our dupes can eat somewhere that's not next to a compost pile. Next up, researching CO2 engines. We're producing a planet's worth of carbon dioxide. Might as well drive it around. Also, we are working towards a saltwater geyser, which is basically free water with a little extra seasoning. And finally, the best discovery yet, we found Spaz, the god of chaos, which is exactly what we needed. More chaos. The mushrooms are growing beautifully. Finally, something greenish that isn't trying to kill us. Then we spot it. A Dreco. Fuzzy, mysterious, probably up to something. Do you think we could build a stable for it? Or is this just a weird farm animal adoption gone wrong? Meanwhile, the saltwater geyser is ours. Time to harness that briny goodness. But first, research for the space program, because you know, it's never too early to dream about abandoning this rock entirely. And speaking of food, can we just wild plant some mealwood? No farming stress, just plant it and hope the universe takes care of it. And while we're at it, might as well start a Paku ranch, because nothing says fine dining like raw sushi straight from the polluted tank. And in a perfect timing sense, the desalinator is now running, which is great because we were just about out of fresh water. The pips, meanwhile, are in full landscaping mode, planting Mirith leaf seeds everywhere like they own the place. Our first Paku is acquired. It's a cute little thing, but don't name it, because we all know where this is going. It'll be okay, little Paku Dave. And then who is this? Coming through the portal, Sejan Matt just randomly appears. Is he a rancher, a saboteur, a time traveler? No idea. But our hydrogen generators are running like maniac, and our power grid is having a nervous breakdown. As we continue to wrestle with our power grid, at this point, it's less efficient system and more angry tangle of wires. Run, little dupes, run! We are bringing back the good old hamster wheel. Sure, it's renewable energy, but mostly renewable leg cramps. Wait a minute, are we actually gonna build a real Great Hall? This is it, folks. Civilization has peaked. Expect fine dining and the occasional dupe snoring under the table. Now it's time to create some masterpieces, or attempts. Modern abstract? Post-apocalyptic minimalism? Either way, it'll be something. And what is this seacomb stuff? It's slimy. You know what? Whatever. We'll feed it to the Paku. If they start glowing in the dark, we can deal with that later. And we'll go ahead and place some new decor around the barracks, because nothing said good night's sleep like tasteful decor right next to the bathroom door. And in the news of the Dreco farm, we're gonna start adding a splash of hydrogen, because if they can't have style, at least they can have flammable vibes. And a few more running wheels, because sure, the more the merrier. Soon our base will sound like a competitive track meet. Might as well place down a few incubators for our new Dreco friends. Finally a place to hatch these adorable little fuzzballs, or future fabric factories, however you want to look at it. And who keeps dropping their food? This isn't a buffet. Oh wait, maybe it is now. And a lura seed? Finally, we've been needing that. Add it to the precious things we don't accidentally bury in a storage bin list. And finally, the piece de resistance, a shine bug and lure ranch. We're mixing disco lights with fancy plants. Very high class. Oh, and apparently someone wanted table salt now, because when you live in a sealed underground colony on an asteroid flying through space, seasoning is a very high priority.
Hey, everybody doing something else I've never done before. I'm gonna make table salt.
And cycle 61 is beginning with a very important philosophical question. Do hatches even exist anymore? Because if they do, they're hiding better than my motivation on a Monday morning.
Has anybody actually seen a hatch? 'Cause I'm pretty sure I haven't.
And in the meantime, we had an infinite storage square and set up a very low priority sweep because nothing says future-proof colony like one giant pile of junk.
Okay, doing a lower priority sweep across the whole area.
Amongst all this cleaning, the crisis started. We have to save the Dreco. Somebody had dropped him in a vat of polluted water, and he had one little square of oxygen left. And against all odds, the little guy survives, probably because it's the only thing in this base with a will to live. And after about 6 hours of non-stop gameplay, I finally take a quick pause, and then immediately ruin the chill by adding a second desalinator. The colony also gains a new member. Welcome to the colony, Camille, and almost instantly, the game throws a new goal at me. Let's build a green rocket before cycle 100. Sure, why not? What could go wrong? We have about 30-something cycles to go. It's not like I'm still recovering from my last bad idea. And by cycle 65, we're attempting to breach the surface to prepare our very first rocket ever, and oxygen not included. Which of course means digging straight up like we're racing to meet space halfway. To prepare, we build an exosuit forge and begin cranking out aluminum Atmos suits like we're starting a space fashion line. Researching the bottle drainer takes priority next because obviously that critical rocket tech followed by installing an Atmos suit checkpoint in docks is not that high. And right when we think we have enough salt water, which is exactly the kind of statement that gets replayed in a disaster montage later, we notice it's starting to slowly dip down. We discover a fancy new hydrogen vent, and of course, gas pipes have to start going down so we can grab it. May or may not have casually checked that with a nice little high priority exploit. And we're finally gonna research plastic. It only took us 70 cycles to do so. And you know what we need more of? More hydrogen generators, because you can never have too much buzzing in the background. And Splicer, in a heroic act of self-sacrifice, or pure clumsiness, managed to get trapped behind a wall of glorious mud.
Silly Splicer, we weren't supposed to go in there, buddy.
Meanwhile, polluted water is crashing down into our clean water party. So now we have a murky soup situation. Instead of solving it like responsible adults, we're learning applied science and occasionally just burying our problems. Our little plastic maker is finally in place. The water supply issues are fixed, maybe. And we even analyzed the hydrogen vent like we knew what we were doing. Cycle 75 starts out with some fresh new blueprints. Research on the canister drainer is still underway, and we're making the base more gas exchange efficient because oxygen might be important. Large paintings are going up for the base beautification project that I forgot I didn't want to start, and I kind of made a rookie mistake of looking at the germs. And grand finale, I discovered my rock crusher has been sitting at a priority 9 the entire time. Oh, Nimrod, put your head on straight, please. And after all these cycles, finally realized, maybe we should feed the shine bugs because they're starting to look at us like we owed them rent. Next, we made a little ice maker to cool off our water pool because nothing says engineering like dumping ice cubes into a pond. And then we did it. We finally found space. And right on top, solid carbon dioxide, which is essentially space dandruff, I would assume. I start planning out our first rocket, finally, only to realize we also needed a CO2 room just to power the engine. Oh, and you remember that philosophical question? Do hatches even exist anymore? We found them. They were in the middle of our base the whole time.
Oh, shoot, we do have hatches. And they've just been living on this little bit of coal and stuff up here. I like it.
Splicer crowned himself the construction king. Well, I just kind of stood there and admitted I have no idea what I'm doing. But hey, at least we got a rocket launch checklist and start working a little bit on the interior. How hard could it really be? And we start kicking off cycle 91 with our very first meteor shower, which was both beautiful and mildly terrifying. Then came the bottle emptier and the rocket filler phase, because apparently our rocket's a little thirstier than our dupes, and I'm still wondering what this planet even has to offer besides constant power problems. So we planted some bog buckets just to feel productive, and of course the germs decided to join the party, so we dropped a deodorizer and started mining into the uranium, because nothing says hygiene like radioactive rocks. The rocket finally hit full capacity, and to celebrate, we went ice shopping in a cold biome, only to realize the saltwater geyser went on vacation. With our water starting to dip dangerously low, I may have accidentally locked Nixon inside a rocket a little too early.
Here comes Nixon to hop on in. Wait,
But hey, at least he's ready for launch. And we made it, finally hit the big 100. It's our Cycle 100 party. And what a better way to celebrate than by launching our very first rocket, and oxygen not included.
our first launch ever and oxygen not included.
Nixon, our brave and slightly confused astronaut, heads off into space while we stand here like a proud parent waving at a school bus. And look at all these achievements. Seriously, we survived 100 days of this madness. Now the big question, do we push on to 200 days of chaos? Or maybe try something wild for a special run? Either way, I can't wait to see what the next 100 days have in store. And that's it, 100 cycles of questionable decisions, random disasters, and somehow actual progress. Huge thanks to everyone who stuck around to watch this madness unfold. You've all been parts of this journey, and maybe even part of the reason Nixon is now floating somewhere above the stratosphere. If you enjoyed this ride, hit that like button, drop your wildest ideas for the next run in the comments, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss whatever chaos we cook up next. Until then, keep building, keep surviving, stay froggy everyone.